Brenock, it's lovely to see you here today at Collectomania. How have you been enjoying it so far?
Yeah, it's been great. It's my first convention like this, so yeah, it's just really great to be here.
Fantastic. Now, you've had a fantastic season on Game of Thrones. Of course, you're not one of the book characters, but you've had quite a good part built up by Mr. Dave Hill, haven't you?
Yeah, I know. I just can't believe it. Like, I went for my audition and I was a one-scene part, and then to suddenly be in two series with a major storyline in each, it's great. Yeah, it's the best job I've had in ages. It's just incredible.
How did you thank Dave when you found out it was him who'd suggested that you join the Night's Watch and kill Egret?
Well, I've not actually met Dave. So, Dave, if you're watching, I thank you wholeheartedly for this opportunity. But yeah, it's just mental. It's crazy.
Now, of course, we've seen you this season sword training with Jon Snow. What was that like? Tell me about filming that.
Well, obviously it's every teenage boy's dream to be having a sword fight, but to be having a sword fight with Jon Snow, that's just like the best thing that could happen. So when I read the script and found out I had that, I was like, yeah, this is going to be good. And then I went for a day of training with the stuntmen, and it's three guys who are the best stuntmen in the world. And it was intense, but it was quite easy to pick up. Like, they made it simple for me to learn, and then filming it took a day, and it was great fun. Just really, really great fun.
And what did you think when you saw Jon Snow mercy kill Mance Rayder? And tell me a little bit about how they filmed it.
Oh, well, I'll tell you about the filming first. Well, basically, you had Kieran, who plays Mance, and he was on the pyre, and he was doing all of his acting with just a lit pipe underneath him to give the flame effect. And then they did one with a stuntman who had a fire suit on, and they set him on fire, and then afterwards they put him out, and then just to let it just burn, they put a dummy on in Kieran's costume, and they burnt that. So it was incredible the way that they did it in three separate stages, but still managed to put it together in such a fluid way. Yeah, it was great.
And Janos Lint as well, that beheading.
Yeah, I was quite happy about that as my character, because you gotta, if someone's not taking orders, you've got to show a bit of justice. But Dom, the guy who plays him, is an absolutely lovely guy, and we missed him on set after that. We really did.
And of course, we've had Olly's reaction. We've seen him react to how Jon's been dealing with the wildings this season, hasn't we? And he's not a happy chappy. I mean, in fact, when we saw his reaction when Jon came back from Hardhome, woo!
That was, yeah, it was a very tense moment when the eyes caught across the courtyard. It was quite a weird thing to film, because obviously in the previous series we've had this close relationship with Jon and Olly, and him treating him like a younger brother, and then we have this conflict, and I don't think Olly wants the conflict. Olly wants to be able to trust him, but in the back of his mind he's always got this thing of, these people killed my parents, and he's not sure he'll ever be able to get over that.
Do you think, you mentioned there about Jon treating him like a younger brother, do you think Jon sees kind of Bran or Rickon in him?
Yeah, definitely. I think he sees the life he's left behind in Winterfell in me, and so he wants to treat me the way he thinks I deserve to be treated, and do what is best for me. But also he realises that we're going to be adding to the army of the dead tenfold if we keep these people on the other side of the wall. And I think Olly can understand that, but he doesn't want to accept it, and that's what's making it hard for him to choose which side he's going to be on.
I mean, of course, Jon has seen the White Walkers. He's come back and lived to tell the tale. I mean, Olly hasn't. He's just got to take his word for it. I mean, how do you think he'd cope if he'd been there, if he'd seen them? What would you think Olly would do if he was faced with a White Walker?
I think that Olly, he talks a good game. Like, he says in the training scene in Series 4, he says, oh, I was the best archer in my village and stuff like that. But as you see when he's in the battlefield, before Sam speaks to him, he's just sitting in a corner rocking. So in that sense, he's not really any better than Janos Slynt. He's like, he talks a good game, but when it comes to it, he's probably a bit of a coward.
He was able to take out Egret, though, with one fell swoop, wasn't he? And that little exchange, that little smile between the little nod between you and Jon Snow as well.
And that nod has started a trend on the internet. I've now got a Tumblr page going on about me, which is just called Olly Nods at Things. And it's basically just GIFs of me nodding from Game of Thrones. So yeah, that seems to have had more of an impact than I thought it would. But yeah, it was a great scene to film. And Rose was lovely, and I was sad to see her go. But yeah.
And then, of course, earlier that season you had that kind of exchange with the Sens, didn't you? Not very nice exchange. You were on the worst side of it, obviously.
Yeah, it was a really, really good scene to film because these two massive guys, Joe and Yuri, are both absolutely lovely guys. But in the scene, yanking me out of that thing and holding a knife to my throat, and it was just a really intense scene to film, and I loved it, yeah.
Now, of course, how excited are you for people to see that season 10 episode, that big finale?
I can't wait. In my opinion, from what I know of it, it's the best episode of the whole series so far. So, yeah.
In terms of what can we expect, how would you say, kind of what level kind of excitement, of darkness, of, adventure, action, whatever?
Without giving anything away, I think that all the major storylines, something happens that is worth talking about. So even if you're not interested in the Night's Watch, if you're interested in Arya or Stannis or the Boltons, there's something to talk about that will make you quite pleased with that episode.
Now, of course, there's been a lot of leaks this season, hasn't there, between the episodes and photographs from the episodes and so on, and there have been some as well from episode 10. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Well, I know that the people that love the show will want to watch it at the highest quality they can watch it and at the time when everyone else is going to be talking about it. And I think that that's all that really matters with the people that are the real fans of the show watching it at the time when it's been released by the creators. So yeah, it doesn't really bother me that it's been leaked. Obviously it's a shame that some of the surprises won't have the same wow factor that they would have had, but it's just people in the internet these days,
Now, of course, I mean, fans of Game of Thrones, you'll love to speculate about what's going to happen next. Is so-and-so going to be in it? Oh, where are they going to go? What's the subplot going to be? Will they kill this person off, that person off? And, of course, there's been a lot of talk about Benjen Stark since we last saw him a very long time ago, Jon Snow's uncle, of course. Lots of theories, is returning, how he might return. How much would you like to see that?
Well, I've got so many theories going on in my head that none of them have been confirmed or anything, and it's so frustrating because, I've got the theory of who's going to be on the throne, or the Benjen one. I would like Benjen to come back, but as a wight. I would love to see him come back as a wight and to see that face-off between him and Jon, because Jon in one way is like, right, this guy's going to kill me if I don't do something, but then again, can he destroy the last part of his previous life at Winterfell? And it's just going to be, if that happened, it would be very, very tough to see.
Definitely. Yeah. Absolutely. No, that's a good point. I mean, you mentioned that. I mean, do you think that Jon would be capable of doing it to someone else who was close to him, someone he'd built up affection for, if he had to, take them out? I mean, for example, you were the one who had to deal with Ygritte, weren't you?
Yeah, I think that even though everyone in Game of Thrones has got a very dark side to them, even the nice people like you've seen in Sansa this series, but I think that Jon is one of the only characters that when faced with the choice of good or bad, he will always automatically just go for the good, and if he was told to take out someone that he thought a lot of, I don't think he would.
Now, of course, talking about taking people out, we've seen some gruesome, some spectacular, some shocking deaths on Game of Thrones. If you had to pop your clogs, how would you like to go as Olly?
Oh, if I had to go, I'd probably say during battle, killing lots of wildlings. I think that would be the way that he'd want to go, but who knows?
You can dream as Olly, can't you? That's exactly how he'd like to go. I mean, what was it like working with, of course, you worked a lot with Kit Harington, there's John Bradley in there, you mentioned Rose as well from last season, Owen Teale and Hannah Murray, all those guys.
It's just incredible. You've got such a wealth of acting ability in there that I've just learned so much from this job just from watching other people. But I think that even though I've worked with so many people, the person I've learned the most from is probably John Bradley, because I did the scene that was in episode 8 with him, and that took a day to film, and watching him doing his lines about Jon, it was just really eye-opening about how much you can achieve with just a few simple lines.
Of course, Samwell said to him that, there's difficult decisions that a man has to make, like Jon Snow as Lord Commander. Other people might not understand them, but, he has to make them. What do you think Olly might have taken on board from that?
I think Olly might have accepted the fact that, okay, I may not like it, but if I'm going to lead one day, as Jon says that he might do, if I'm going to lead, obviously I'm going to be in that position where some of the brothers aren't going to be happy with the decision I make. But, I think that still in the back of his mind he's thinking these people killed my parents, I'm not just going to let that slide. So, yeah.
And of course he asked Jon, before he had that conversation with Sam about whether he was just trying to lure the wildlings into a trap, didn't he?
Yeah, because I think that he wanted to believe that, but deep down he knew that Jon was too much of a good person to play such mind games and tricks with someone. If he was trying to save them, he would genuinely be trying to save them, and that's what's making it hard for Olly, is the fact that he hates Jon for the decision he's made, but he can understand it, and that's the thing that's really hard for him.
Now, of course, we always like to look ahead with Game of Thrones as well, don't we? And wondering what are the chances are that we'll see you for a season 6? And if we did, what would you like to see your character, Olly, get up to?
Well, I don't know anything about that. Obviously, I'd love to, because it's just such a fun show to film, and it's the best job I've had in my life. It's opened so many doors for me. But if I came back, I think that, in my eyes, Olly wouldn't let this stand about the wildlings living in his old village. He would probably go off by himself and attempt to take out a few of the wildlings and probably die in the process. That's what I'd like to see him do anyway.
That could be really interesting, couldn't it?
Could be really interesting, because you've got the whole the possibility of Jon going after him and there being another war with the wildlings, but the White Walkers coming down as well. There's so much scope for season 6 in the north, and we've not even seen anything of Bran in the whole of season 5, and that's a story that as soon as they got to the Three-Eyed Raven, I was like, okay, do something now. And then we've not seen him, but I'm really intrigued about where that storyline could go, because I think that he could be crucial to the whole plot of Westeros.
And that whole kind of warging as well, those warging abilities are really interesting, aren't they? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that it's a really useful tool for Bran to have, especially seeming as he's not that powerful in his own body. And the fact that he could warg into Hodor shows that he might be able to warg into something powerful. My dream is that Bran will one day be able to warg into the dragons. That is what I want. That's one of my theories, because I've got so many mates at school and my drama school that love the show, and we've got hundreds and hundreds of theories about where the story could go. And that's one of the great things about the show, is that everyone's got theories, but no one really knows.
Exactly.
So you're always left guessing.
Exactly, and now we're, at the limit of the books as well. We're all guessing, book readers are not, aren't we? If you think about, we're talking about the warging abilities in Bran, that would be awesome, seeing him warg into a dragon, wouldn't it? But do you think it's something that only he has, or, do you think this is a Stark thing, or what?
I think it could be a Stark thing, and if it's a Stark thing, then that means that quite possibly Jon would have it, if he is Stark after all, and Arya would have it. So I think that would be quite an interesting thing. If it was a Stark thing, then it would add a whole other layer to the storyline. Yeah, definitely.
You mentioned, of course, Jon Snow being Lord Commander as he is, and you're his steward. What's it been like being Jon Snow's steward, and what kind of Lord Commander do you think he makes?
It's been quite interesting being his steward, because at the beginning Olly was thrilled to be his mate's steward at the Wall, but now that there's that conflict between them, it could be quite awkward and tense, and that could lead to further conflicts. But I think that even though all the conflict that we've had, I think Olly does think that Jon is a strong commander and a good commander.
As Brenock, would you have voted for Jon as Lord Commander?
Well, judging by the other options, like that old Dennis Mallister, who I had no idea who he was, or Sir Alistair, who's just a moany piece of... Yeah, so no, I would probably have gone for Jon, not because he's that great a leader, but because he was the best of a bad bunch.
Brenock, we know you as a singer as well from your YouTube channel, don't we? I know you're writing some of your own songs at the moment as well. Tell us a little bit more about that, and also, if you had to make a musical episode of Game of Thrones, what kind of songs would you love to see in that, and why?
Oh, that's a tough one. There's so many possibilities, because obviously there's the whole idea of writing new songs for it, or there's putting pop songs in it, but I think that there'd definitely, with the Stannis, there'd be I Set Fire to the Rain. That would be in there at some point, or Burn Baby Burn, especially after episode 9. But yeah, I think that it would be quite interesting to have a musical episode, especially after the Coldplay Game of Thrones musical recently. That's been quite interesting, yeah. I've been doing my own covers and covers of other people's songs on there for a couple of years now, and it's just great fun to do. And I just started off as a bit of a laugh, and then people started watching them, and now I'm trying to write my own stuff and trying to put myself out there and get any gigs I can. So, yeah.
Well, we look forward to lots more singing from you, lots more of you on TV as well. I know you've got a Dickens show coming up on BBC, haven't you? Just quickly let us know what that is.
It's basically a mashup of all of Charles Dickens' storylines. So you've got like Fagin in the same road as Ebenezer Scrooge, and it's just a really fun show, and I'm about to start filming that, so yeah, it should be good.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to that, look forward to more singing, and look forward to lots more Game of Thrones with you as well. It's been lovely talking to you, Brenock. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.